Hey everybody, Ian here at NAB 2016. I'm in the Sound Devices booth with Paul Isaacs. Hello, Paul. We are going to look at the next step, let's say, in the evolution of the PIX series recorders. Now, it's been 5 years since you guys brought the PIX 240 to market. That's mind-blowing that it's been 5 years.
Yep.
But it was a very high-quality product that came out, and it allowed us to do a lot of things in a very small package. We could up-convert, down-convert, cross-convert. We had all this flexibility built into it. Then you brought out the PIX E series, so smaller, more compact, still high quality, and now we've added the PIX LR. Now, which means live return, by the way. I just found this out.
The LR does, yeah.
Yeah, the LR is live return.
Derived from the word XLR,
which
has got XLRs.
So there's a little bit of nerd trivia for you that you can impress your friends with. So now we have the ability to add audio from an external source. Now, obviously, we could still take audio from our SDI or HDMI. Those are always going to be embedded there. But really, the reason we want to do this is really to enhance the quality of what we're recording.
Exactly. So yeah, the PIX LR brings some really high quality Sound Devices caliber mic preamps on XLR inputs to the PIX E series. And the PIX LR is compatible with the E5 and the E7. So these mic preamps are very low noise, they're wide gain, they have fantastic sounding limiters that can handle even the loudest screams and prevent digital overload distortion. They've got high pass filtering for minimizing the low frequency and wind noise and such like that. It's got phantom supply too. It also provides nice transport controls for easy access to record and the like that.
So you could take a nice quality microphone that you're attaching to your camcorder, patch directly into this, and now you're taking advantage of the preamps that Sound Devices has always been renowned for.
That's correct. So perhaps a shotgun on the top of your camera now can connect directly into the XLR on the PIX LR instead of into the XLR on your camera, and you're going to get a much higher quality sound.
What other signals, type of audio signals, can we bring in?
We can bring in SDI audio via the SDI. We can bring in HDMI audio. We even have an unbalanced 3.5mm connector for line level signals. So that could be used with wireless, for instance.
So when we're in the scenario where we're bringing our video from the camera, and we're doing this because we want to bypass the compression aspects of that particular camera, get more information. We are bringing our audio in separately. So the audio and the video are arriving at the media at different times. So how do we account for that discrepancy of the difference between the audio and the video? Because in this scenario, we record something, we play it back, it's gonna look like it's out of sync, because in fact it is. The audio and the video arrived at different times. So how do we correct for that?
Well, we have an inbuilt audio delay feature, which you can access from the audio screen. So you first of all set up your input source, typically XLR if you're going to be using the PIX LR. Then you go to our audio screen, select the audio track that you want to delay to match the picture, and you can set that in 10 millisecond steps. Now, think of 10 milliseconds as like a third of a frame when you're dealing with 30 frame video. And so you can really quite tightly tune the AV sync between the delayed incoming video and directly plugged audio sources. And you can do that independently for each audio track.
The other announcement that came very recently is the update of H.264. And we need to talk about this a little bit, because I think there's some confusion about H.264. It is a compression scenario. It is something that I think gets confused as to how it gets implemented into different devices. So what was your kind of ideas of implementing H.264, and how do we take advantage of that and applying it to the PIX E series?
Right. So the point of H.264 is that we can simultaneously record a master ProRes 4K file, which is ideal for post and editing, but at the same time record a low bitrate H.264 MP4 file, which can be then used as an instant delivery to a client, like a producer or a director, so they can then content review the shot of the day. Now, typically, to be able to deliver something like that for them, you'd have to go through a transcode process, which would typically require a computer, and not everyone wants to carry a computer on set. The other important application for this low bitrate H.264 is direct-to-web streaming, and there are many applications where you'd want that. Think of maybe a corporate AGM, where you're shooting the event, and at the end of the day you want to get that material online as quickly as possible so other staff, remote staff, can view that. It might be an educational facility where you want to make that available to remote students, or maybe a house of worship who want to be able to play that back to their congregation.
Now, another H.264 implementation, the PIX E series handles LUTs.
Correct, it does.
So how are we working with LUTs in regards to, say, the 4K recording and the H.264 recording?
Right, I mean, we've been able to load LUTs into the PIX E for quite some time now via the SD card, and you can load log, you can load different types of looks. So when it comes to recording simultaneously, you want your 4K master ProRes file, if you're dealing with log, to not have any LUT applied to that, because you want to work with a wide dynamic range file in post, right? But when you're talking about an H.264 deliverable to a client for previewing of content, they want to be able to review that in the normal color space like Rec 709. So you'd want a LUT applied to the H.264, but not to the ProRes. And our system allows you to do that.
So there's no confusion when you're showing clients the footage. They can see the transformed, we could say the LUTted image that came from the log of the camera, but simultaneously we're preserving the untouched, we could say, full dynamic range color space of the 4K recording.
Absolutely, yes. So we now, obviously with the SD card, I don't think we mentioned this just before, but the H.264 is recorded to the SD card. You can choose to record it to the speed drive as well, but the normal workflow would be ProRes to your speed drive and your H.264 to the SD card. And SD cards are really low cost. So it's the ideal medium to hand off to a producer or director at the end of a shoot.
You could literally just hand it off to them and say goodbye to it.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I do want to bring up here additionally is that there's a conception that a camera itself can record the H.264 internally in itself. So why would you need to record the H.264 on the PIX E? Well, it's important to know that with many cameras, when they are outputting 4K, their internal recording is hampered. So for instance, the Sony A7S II or the A7S or the A7R, if you're outputting 4K, the A7S can't record internally H.264. In the case of the Panasonic GH4, although it can record H.264 internally 4K, when it's outputting 4K, it's only able to record it at a high bit rate, which is not suitable for really storing on a cheap SD card or direct-to-web streaming.
So the other practical matters, how soon will we see the LR and how much?
Well, the LR's shipping now. It's been out and about for a good month, I would say now.
Okay, well, why did you
Thank
say
you
that?
for the leading question. And the price is $399, which is a really fantastic price for that caliber of mic pre. So
you're getting the convenience of the H.264 recording. You're also getting the beautiful preamp sound that Sound Devices is known for. So thank you so much, Paul, for your time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.